Hey guys, we're back. And I want to first of all say thank you very much to all of you who left a comment on the last video I did about the fanboy hate and all that stuff with the IGN podcast the other day. Almost 1,000 comments, so obviously it's a hot topic talking about what was going on with the Switch there and their comments. So thank you very much for that. I do like the discussions that we get into, and I really like hearing all your opinions and sharing my opinion with you. It's basically really nice to see all the participation basically in the comment section. I do encourage that, and I hope you guys continue that as we go forward, whether you like or dislike the video or not. So in this video, we're going to talk about the importance or lack of importance, or whatever you want to call it, of third-party support. Specifically, AAA third-party support. Is it important or not for the Switch to be successful? Again, this is a hot topic because we all know what happened to the Wii U. It lacked AAA third-party support, and the sales definitely suffered because of it. That wasn't maybe the only reason why the system failed. We can list all kinds of different things for the Wii U failing, but lacking games and third-party support definitely was a huge reason why the Wii U failed. So Games TM in the UK had an interview with 3 developers about the Nintendo Switch, and they were Drinkbox co-founder Graham Smith, Rebellion Developers co-founder Chris Kingsley, and Zen Studios VP Publishing Mel Kirk. And one of the questions was on whether they get the impression the Switch is offering more power to developers to tap into. And I'll leave the link in the description for you to read for yourself, but the main point I'm going to highlight is something that Chris Kingsley said that was very interesting, that caught my eye. He said, "It is natural for developers to focus on more power for consoles, but it's never really seemed to be Nintendo's priority. For me, the power argument rests on getting near parity with other consoles to make it easier to bring your games onto multi-platforms. When there's a big difference in power, it's a harder job and the risk-reward equation shifts. Switch is definitely more powerful, especially for those used to mobile platforms." He says that's definitely more powerful when people are used to the mobile platform aspect, but perhaps not powerful enough for some, especially those used to AAA development. These days, of course, there's quite a wide and diverse range of game types, so there's a lot more opportunity for all developers. So remember, this question is in regards to developers, how they feel about it. So he basically said here that the Switch is definitely more powerful in comparison to mobile platforms, but for developers who develop for AAA experiences, it's basically not powerful enough, is what he's getting at here. And again, I'll leave the link in the description, you can see for yourself. The other week we had Sebastian Altonen, former Ubisoft programming lead, say that the Switch, if it was based on Tegra X1, if the rumors are true, it would be impossible for it to be getting AAA ports on the system. And here we have another developer saying kind of the same thing, saying that it's not powerful enough for those who are used to AAA development. Basically, AAA developers making those really, really high quality games, very expensive games. Of course, high quality doesn't just mean expensive, but really graphically intense games that are high on budget, basically is what that means, AAA developed titles. So, like we talked about before, the Switch can be successful to a certain degree with just Nintendo's games. Yeah, we've talked about that before, right? They have all their first-party developer content on the system coming in a consistent rate. Yes, the system can be successful doing that, but how far can it be successful? We don't know for sure. The 3DS was very successful, right? So using the 3DS mindset, Nintendo really pushed the 3DS really well, especially for its first 4 years. It had game after game after game after game from Nintendo on it. It sold really well. However, third parties really didn't sell that great on the 3DS. There are some exceptions, of course. You have Monster Hunter, which sold great. You had Bravely Default, and you had some Atlas games there. You had some Sega games there that sold really well on the 3DS. So if you're thinking of the Nintendo Switch as a 3DS replacement, not necessarily a main home console replacement of the Wii U, I think that the system will be successful in that sense. Because with the Wii U, everyone wanted to have all the AAA ports from the other systems, and when it didn't get it, definitely the sales were affected. However, that is where the concern lies in, right? We talked about marketing. Should Nintendo be marketing this as a portable? Should Nintendo be marketing this as a home console? What should they be doing, right? Well, it's a hybrid. So It's a portable home console. Yeah, it's a home console that's portable. That's what it is. It's a hybrid. So if it is a hybrid, in my opinion, it should be able to act as a home console that is at least as powerful as Xbox One or just below in order to get those third-party AAA games, because as a game developer, you want to have your system be able to run all the current games. So if we're hearing here that the system simply is not powerful enough to get AAA titles from third parties, I think Nintendo may have made a mistake here with the Switch. That's just my opinion. And the reason is because it's limiting the Switch to a certain type of user base, and it's not opening itself up to have more games that appeal to a wider range audience. Yeah, you'll have your Battlefields and your Call of Duties on the other systems, but what about the Tomb Raiders? What about the Final Fantasy 15s? What about those other experiences that could very well sell very good on a Nintendo home console? What about those games? You know, you leave yourself out of getting those games and you're in big trouble. You run the risk of losing sales out to the other systems, because whenever there's a brand new game announced for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and it's not announced for our Nintendo system that we have, it's disappointing, right? It leads to more people buying those systems for that game. There's always new games being announced, right? We're not even talking about games that are already on the market. Like, you know, the previous Battlefields, the previous Call of Duties. We're not talking about that. When there's a brand new game from a third party that looks like a must-have, I don't care what it is, but if it's not coming to our Nintendo console, it's going to lead to more people buying other systems and less buying the Nintendo system. It's simply a matter of logic, right? So Nintendo needs to have a system that plays all the games, or has the ability to at least, even if it's downscaled. If it's simply not powerful enough to even run them downscaled, like what we're hearing here, or not feasible enough to do so, maybe they have to rework the game in its entirety, the system is going to have difficulty getting momentum, because it's still going to have some droughts. No matter how great, you know, Nintendo tries, there's still going to be some more droughts there than it would be for another console like PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So regardless of that, the Switch needs to be able to play all the games in order to get the most support, and for Nintendo to be able to say, hey, the Switch can play all these games that the other systems can do, plus Nintendo's exclusives. That would be the key in order to get strong momentum. Not just having first-party games only, because that would really sell the idea of the Switch completely as a hybrid, right? It would be a full home console at home, and it would be a full portable when you're not at home. It wouldn't just be basically having that 3DS portable, you know, audience. It would be able to get the home console audience too. That would be a real sales booster for the Switch. But if it doesn't run those AAA third-party games, not just Battlefield or Call of Duty, but the other games that are releasing all the time, I think that might be an issue. 3DS has done really well as a platform, and its sales have increased in the last part of 2016 due to Pokemon, but overall it hasn't really done as well as it has in the first few years when it was on the market. And the sales have been slowly dying off, and the games from developers have not sold as well as what they used to either. So Nintendo can't just rely on the 3DS audience either. They have to branch out and be able to have all the games be able to run on their system. That's all we ask for. Just have the games be able to run. I'm not asking for a huge power or anything like that. Just be able to have them run on the system. We of course heard great things from the CEO of Nvidia. You know, it's easy to port to the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, it may be easy to port to the Nintendo Switch to a certain degree, but you know, that's not giving us much detail on what types of games he's talking about. You know, we never know. But according to developers, we're hearing some things that possibly that the system may not be powerful enough to run these AAA games from third parties, which is unfortunate if that's true. So I'm just being honest with you guys, that is a concern for the Switch going forward. I do really hope it has all the third-party support in the world. I saw that list of third-party partners that were hopefully going to be making games on the Switch, so we do have that. So hopefully there is a lot of content coming to the Switch, and I'm very excited to see some surprises from Nintendo on January 12th. So stay tuned to that. I'll be with Player Essence on his channel on January 12th. We're going to see for ourselves the Nintendo Switch. We're going to put all the rumors out there and discuss them, and then see which ones come true, which ones are false. We're going to see the capabilities of the system. We're going to see all the great content Nintendo has lined up. So I'm really excited for that. I'm excited for some big surprises from Nintendo, and I hope you guys are too. So even though some things are negative, some things are positive, Please don't look at it as something that is one way or the other. Just be optimistic like I am and look forward to seeing the best Nintendo can offer on January 12th. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Take care.